Podcasting 2.0 for December 31st, 2021, episode 68. Mind the Gap. That's right. The very last meeting of the board for 2021 for Podcasting 2.0. That's right. Everything about podcastindex.org, all the latest happenings with the podcast namespace, and, of course, the genius work that is taking place at podcastindex.social. I'm Adam Curry here in the heart of Hill Country, Texas, and in Alabama. Ladies, look at that smile. My friend on the other end, Mr. Dave Jones.
How much? So much for the Bitcoin to 100,000 by the end of the year prediction. How terrible does that look?
Well, it's funny you say that. Wow, that was abrupt. Hold on. Sorry. Nice fade out, Curry. Now. Yeah, well done. Just want to
that was fade to black.
Hey, look, if you can't cover it up, turn it up, right?
Yeah, that's what the guitar player for Promise used to say. He said, if you ever mess up, do it 2 or 3 more times and they'll think you meant to. It's
exactly right. I heard it from a guitar player as well.
Yeah.
If you can't cover it up, turn it up. It was my buddy who's chief financial officer of Marvel Entertainment. Not the movie side, but interestingly, the NFT side and the
NFTs.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know they did NFTs.
Oh, I can't. He told me how much they're making a week. I can't divulge that. It's crazy. We'll talk about.
The world has gone insane.
Yeah, I know. We promised to talk about NFTs. We'll get there. So anyway, he's saying, "Hey, man," because he's a really good guy. I think he's obviously very smart. But he comes across as kind of like, I don't know, kind of like a dumb guy, but he's not. It's like, he's stealthy, he's stealthy.
He's a hustler.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, he's very.
I don't know about this game of pool. I've never heard about how you play this.
Exactly. But he's very giving with his information, his knowledge, his stories, but he's a very quiet guy. He's always listening. You can tell he's always sucking up the information. So he's been following Podcasting 2.0 and Lightning and what we're doing, obviously, and Bitcoin. And he says, so why is Bitcoin going down? And, I thought about it for a second. I said, well, first of all, there's no, unlike Wall Street, there's no circuit breakers. So when it goes crazy one way or the other, no one's there to intervene and stop. So
there's just handlebars. You just hang on.
These straps. Oh, Jesus strap. Yeah. It's like, oh, geez, here we go. And 2, whenever I see, as in the past 2 weeks, pundit after pundit coming on CNBC and Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000 before the end of the year, that's the setup. It's just always like, it's what was the El Salvador tomorrow is going to be legal currency. It's going to go to the moon.
It's just like the oil is going to go to $100 a barrel. It's like, oh well, here we go.
Yeah.
Get ready to sell your oil because it's about to tank.
Yeah. So that's now. Is there any reason for it not to spike? No, of course. I mean, and, if you look at the chart, I am a technical analyst when it comes to this kind of stuff. Classically trained in the Jack Ponte day trading scheme.
Classically.
We have had consistent 3 weeks of higher highs, higher lows. So, the trend is there and whatever. Are
you looking at the Fibonacci's?
I'm all about the fibs. Yeah, all about
shoulders.
Yeah. No, Fibonacci, okay. time frames, that kind of stuff. I love that shit.
Cup and handle.
Those are patterns. I'm much more on the, oh gosh, I've forgotten all the names, but all those individual models that show you trailing indicators. There's a couple of leading. I used to do all that shit, and I was really good at it. Except I would choke. So, okay, I would. I'd
handle the pressure.
No, it's like I could do it with like $500, $1,000 maybe. Like, okay, But then it's like, dude, you want to make $100,000 today? I said, yeah, okay, do it with $10,000. It's like. And I just
your fingers hovering, and I could not, and I couldn't do it,
and I couldn't see straight. And to fund that stuff, and I did make money, but not like a hell of a lot because I just didn't have the balls. That's when I sold my 65 Bitcoin to learn how to do that. It's the most expensive, stupid lesson I've ever invested in. Yeah,
I'll take an options course with my Bitcoin proceeds. That's always, I always love those guys. They're like, I went to option, to learn how to do options. That's where you can make all the money. I'm like, dude, you're about to get so fried.
Oh yeah. So, many of my friends are now, you can see them slowly starting to get more interest. Like even the former New York banker, he's sending me articles on Lightning. There's all, and people are they're just more interested now. They're more interested and they want to know what's going on. They'd like, no one really understands why is Bitcoin better than Ethereum. Actually, before we continue, I want to say, hey, now, what the heck? Great job, Gigi. Did you read his article on the value for value? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was really good.
When that guy breaks out the keyboard and starts writing, it's always going to be good. Yeah. He just knows it.
What is his background? I know we've talked to him, but I can't remember what it was.
He's
software engineer,
one of those guys
right?
Who's anonymous. I think so, but he's an anonymous Bitcoin guy and takes his anonymity very seriously. So I think like when he was on that show with Jordan Peterson, he had his face covered and everything. I mean, I think I don't know that anybody knows exactly who he is, but he knows his stuff too. Great guy too. I've talked to him personally a few times when he helped out with the value for value spec and doing document review and that kind of thing. And by the way, if I sound like I'm, sound like I'm in a can, I'm sick again. So I woke up with a fever this morning. Anyway, but
I need to get better partners. I mean, it's just
clearly
not good. I've got one who's too old. I got one who's too sick.
You got Tiny Tim on one side, and
Tiny Tim. Yeah. Okay.
And Joe Biden on the other side.
The title of the article is, and I have a link in the show notes: "The Freedom of Value: How Value for Value Fixes the Monetization of Information." And I took two quotes from it. One is, this is the one I tweeted this. Free speech platforms cannot exist. Only free speech protocols can exist.
Yes.
Hello.
I fully agree with that.
Of course.
That's the thing. So thinking about Alex Gates, people misunderstand him a lot on the forum but what he's been preaching the whole time is, protocols, not products, because the protocol is where the freedom and the design sort of meet. You can't take, anybody can make products and they'll come and go, but the protocols we can see with like RSS, OPML, all the open web protocols, ActivityPub, they all live forever. And that's where if you design a good protocol, and it doesn't mean that you're always going to be right. I mean, people are going to design protocols they think are great and they're going to fail. But if you just focus on that as your goal, as designing the protocol, then as being open, free, decentralized, all these things, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah. And so he makes that case. He makes that case very well in this article. That's
what Bitcoin is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think that article will help a lot of people.
I think so too. I think it's a Max it's a Max Hillebrand moment where you need somebody that really knows how to speak to the simple aspect of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like saying simplify it because that makes it sound like people are too stupid to understand it. But it is actually a fairly simple thing, but you need somebody who can get to the simple parts and pull those out and make those the main focus. And that he's good at that.
Yeah. And so, there's two parts to it. The value for value, which I think Gigi really explains well. And then the technical implementation we're looking at with podcasting 2.0. Last night, Tina and I did a very Texas thing. And it was, of course, a Texas boy who forced us into it. And man, am I happy, Sir Mark Hall, who I think he's from East Texas originally, Houston. Mm-hmm. 15 minutes from our house is the Hilltop Cafe, which
that's a good name.
Have you ever heard of this joint?
No.
So the Hilltop Cafe is owned by this guy is Johnny is his name, and Johnny's like the old blues musician, early 70s probably. It's been there. It's a roadhouse. It's on 87. It's totally a roadhouse. They have a fantastic kitchen and a stage. And last night we went there. They have seating for about 50 people. Just a regular place. Very good food. I mean, they even serving escargot, which is like escargots. That's snails. What's that?
Classic Texas roadhouse food.
Yeah, and it was classic. Yes, and it was all local people. And Jimmie Vaughan played. And 50 people, Dave. Jimmie Vaughan, he just hit 70, but there's the house band is there and Johnny's playing, and they did probably do a 2-hour set. It's just phenomenal. And here's Jimmie Vaughan and Johnny, and they bring out the tip jar. And I'm thinking, and of course everyone's stacking this thing. I'm like, oh my God, we are so ready to do this. When guys like that still understand that value, and the people in the audience understand that value, and don't think, oh, Jimmie Vaughan doesn't need my money. All these, I just wanted to, spray sats all over them. Like, come on, man, we can do better than this. We can do better than that jar. This cash thing is no good anymore. It's not working for us. It's just the world is primed for this. And, with Abel Kirby and
that was about you took the words out of my mouth.
Go for it.
No, Abel and the Wolf. If you haven't, look it up on a podcast app, on a new podcast app, and listen to that thing. I mean, that's going straight to the direct to the listener. There's nothing in between. There's no label. There's no publisher. It's just straight. Like, here's the music. It's done, and here you can have it. If you like it, give me some value.
Right.
It's so pure. It's just like the Jimmie Vaughan passing the bucket around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to play for you. You don't have to give me any money, but if you don't, why wouldn't you?
What I really appreciate about the ableandthewolf.com about the project is that they explain value for value, and they go into their own version of it, which is perfect. And how you can get into it and why and what to do. And they have splits. They have individual splits. Yeah, they do, right? They got Sir Spencer, Abel Kirby. It's split up. Which is, and that's interesting. I'm just looking at the feed here, and in the role or the person tag, group equals writing, role equals songwriter. How about that? Is that? Yeah. I didn't know that was in there.
That's part of this podcast taxonomy.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. That's the magic of marrying the taxonomy project to the person tag.
Beautiful.
Seamless.
Beautiful.
I mean, literally, you could think about it that way. You could suck this stuff right into, I know this is not a movie, but if it was a documentary, you could suck that stuff right into IMDb.
Yeah. So I was talking to Mark. He's graciously given us his Killing Ed documentary for Podcasting 2.0, and we're gonna get there. I mean, it's there. He's ready to go and promote once apps can understand it, and we're a little bit further down the road. But he's saying the same thing.
Medium tag.
Yeah, the medium tag, exactly. He's saying the same thing. So I really see this, Adam. I see it really working. There is no outlet. Of course, he's a film guy. And he says, Netflix is going to spend $60 billion on content this year. Amazon will spend $30 billion on content. And none of it's going to go towards, these types of projects. Mm. They have a substantial documentary budget, but it's going to be, Lady Di, Unabomber, that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily a little more esoteric, or much more niche. And they can't even get on the platform. Amazon won't even talk to someone like that. Whatever. And they take 70%. The whole thing is a ripoff. So they're primed.
I was talking to a buddy of mine he invests in documentaries, and they're doing a few. And he was saying that for every documentarian, they have to make this decision whether they're going to go shop it to Netflix, or whether they're going to do it themselves. And so, like, if you shop it to Netflix, you sort of like there's a bank of money there that you can just get paid, but it's just a one-time upfront payment.
Mm-hmm.
You're essentially selling your product to them, but then, you know, versus more keeping your ownership and having those, you know, those royalties or whatever come in. I'm not sure how that works, but like, that's the decision you have to make. You can't, do I trust they're going to give you, it's sort of like a guaranteed thing on the Netflix, Amazon Prime side versus you taking a risk and and doing it yourself and potentially making more money, but potentially not making any money. It's like this devil's bargain that happens now.
And I realized as I'm talking to Mark and as I'm seeing Abel and the Wolf, you know, we have a problem that is a real showstopper for this type of progression, but also the opportunity is obvious. And as long as we are podcastindex.org, as long as you come to anything we're doing and you're seeing podcast, it's very unlikely that musicians will see the opportunity immediately, or that documentarians will say, oh, okay, so I can do this for video too. I mean, it's when you call something like the Index, Podcast Index, people are just not thinking of this as a place where music goes necessarily. So that it's a marketing problem. It's deeply embedded. We'll never get out of it. However, I was listening to the Buzzsprout show, their
Buzzcast.
The Buzzcast, thank you. And they were talking about one person who was on the show had made his own directory, a niche directory of podcasts. It was some certain type of Christianity category. Okay. And as I'm listening to that, I'm thinking, what an opportunity for the non-app developers who are part of Podcasting 2.0 and sniffing around and looking what's going on, to build a different front end to the Index just for music. Just for music. Make it kind of understandable, show some things. That's a starting point. We have the Stephen B is now taken the RSS generator out of CurioCaster. It's standalone, so that could easily be transmorgamachified into an album uploader. You know what I'm saying? So we need to just break. If someone's serious about it, if we break away from, and by the way, if you build that directory, you should get a cut. That's the beauty of it. So this is not a futile, a philanthropic mission. This could be an actual business. And then why wouldn't you, if you own the directory? Why wouldn't you talk to musicians about placement and highlights and promotions? There's all kinds of stuff that can be done. Mm-hmm. But someone has, and I presume that can be done, right? Can't someone just build a different front end onto the back end of the Index?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Somebody had posted that the other day that they were wishing that, a G-Potter. They were complaining about the G-Potter directory and how it's so kind of poor quality. I don't know anything about it, but I'm just trusting what they said. And they posted that they really wish that G-Potter would just suck in the Index and start using that instead, and just curate it down to whatever they want, but start with a clean, quote unquote clean, database. And I think that applies to lots of people. And if we give enough filterable criteria, we've already got we've got everything in there, the, language,
we have it right down to songwriter. Hello. We got all kinds of stuff in there.
It's so many filterable things you should just be able to add. The more we add to it, once we get the medium tag in there and that kind of thing. And that was something I discussed on podcastindex.social the other day. I was saying, well, maybe what I should do is when I put the medium tag into the ingestion, that I should put in there some sort of default rules that are like, okay, if it comes from LibriVox, go ahead and medium tag it with audiobook.
Right.
Or, if it comes from, I don't know, I'd have to think through these possibilities, and the Mastodon would have to help come up with some rules. But you get the idea that you're just sort of pre-tagging a lot of stuff. Same way we did with the GUID, where you go ahead and pre-generate some of this tag content, and then, if the feed adds it itself, it's the source of truth, and you just override it. But I mean, if we did that, because there's clearly some things that are going to be known. I mean, LibriVox only accepts audiobooks.
Right.
So you can go ahead and safely tag those.
Yeah.
And once you start doing that, if you have a decent
you can even take submissions in a roundabout way, but you could take submissions into the index through Podping.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have to. It's. I can see it in front of me. It's like it's very much like twice a week. Hey man, I love what you're doing with podcasting 2.0. Value for Vowel is really good. About why did you choose the Lightning Network? And to my answer is, dude, where are the ETH developers? It's there. You can implement it today. We'll support anything you need.
Yeah, we chose the Lightning Network because we're two people that believe in Bitcoin. There's got to be lots of other people that believe in other stuff out there.
Yeah.
It's all open protocols. Do it yourself.
And even, a lot of OG, I know you're a maxi, but a lot of OG Bitcoiners are really into ETH. I said, sure, that's fine. Whatever. That's totally cool. Where are they? Where is everyone with the big mouth? And it's, ETH is better. Well, then do it. Why aren't you doing it? Maybe it's not better. Maybe you haven't figured it out. Maybe it's just not true. I don't know. Maybe gas fees make it complicated. And by the way, we have Hive. It works. You can implement. I mean, Hive is. I would say my initial inclination is to say that sounds like it might be harder than Ethereum to implement. Just a lot of talk, people. A lot of talk.
Let's talk more action.
Yes, cheap bastards.
That's all he talks cheap.
So if I were Abel and the Wolf, which I'm not, and they're tired, they just did the album, they just did the tour, they're taking a little break now, watching the sats roll in. I'd be thinking about my own directory. I'd be thinking about creating one. They have all the experience now. They went through all the pain, learned all the ups and downs, wrote it all out, built a website. You've got a template. Brothers.
I would love to get an update from them on what their income is. Now it's going to.
Well, I see routing going on, so I know they're getting sats because I see it in the daily report of our node. So it goes through our node to theirs sometimes. So I do see that.
By the way, but what happened with LNPay? Did that just auto close a channel?
Yeah, that was cool. So I kind of manage our node, which means you don't
kind of manage it. You do.
Yeah, I do.
You fully manage it.
It's a living, breathing thing. And we've proven something without even having set out to prove something. We were a little piece of shit. No node, no, not important type node, not enough money, everything, but no big channels, wumbo. Wumbo channels.
My favorite word in Bitcoin.
Wumbo. And so instead of having, 10 big, massive channels, we have several hundred now, smaller channels. And it turns out it's working. This, now that the network itself is a little better, we become part of routing. There's also multi-path routing going on. And we're a player. We're an actual player for smaller amounts. Mm-hmm. And because of the nature of how the graph works, it's often just more efficient to run it through, people that we're connected to.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a good thing we got a big node. So
LNPay is very important. A, because so many wallets are hosted there. B, LNPay has a huge pipe to Breeze.
Oh yeah, that's a main thoroughfare.
Right. In the beginning, it was I was seeing Breeze payments stack up because the fee would just be too high for the app to send something. And I looked at the routes and I'm like, holy crap, what's going on? Because we were really still, the little boys playing off in their own little spider web shit that no one was really connected to, or didn't have enough liquidity. And so, so now we have that beautiful hop from LNPay. So that's all taken care of. And now, actually, if you look at that, is it gopodcasting.org? I think podcast.
Oh, that's the visualization.
Go podcasting.org. Let me see if it still works. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the cheese robot. Yeah. The podcasting cloud is just unbelievable.
Oh, it's huge.
It's beautiful to see.
This is a gorgeous graph. I hadn't looked at this in a while.
Are you looking at it now? I'm looking at it now. It's like, where are we? You can do a Control F and do podcast index.
Oh, you can search.
Yeah, where are we now? Podcast index. Here we are.
Oh man, look. Yeah, that's so cool.
Isn't that beautiful? That's such a cool graph.
Yeah, there's Ellen Pay, and then
you see how Breeze is connected to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Big channel.
So
yeah, that's a critical. That stuff in the middle there. That's critical infrastructure right there for getting things routed quickly.
Yeah, and so I see this tremendous opportunity. We talk about it, and God bless people like Mark Hall and Abel Kirby and Sir Spencer for doing this. Now we've got to move it to the next level. We need to have different entry points. It'll never work with a podcasting front end. It just won't. And it's completely doable. Tie into it. We have so many web developers. There's a lot more web developers than app developers, I'd say, in our community.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, web development is just there's more web developers than app developers in the world, so it's going to mirror that, clearly.
Yeah,
but but that's fine. I mean, there's some top notch app developer. Really, somebody has to just see the vision, and say this is what this thing should look like, and that. Because it's like you said, it's all marketing. The data is there. The data is going to be there no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have music feeds and documentary feeds and all this kind of stuff in the index.
Yeah.
So that stuff's going to exist, but somebody has to come along and have the vision to say, okay, here's the way that it would look to a music listener, a music consumer.
And the market is there because I receive emails regularly. People saying, hey, would this work for music? And I point them to valueforvalue.io. There's a section there about music. There's a section there about audiobooks, people who have done it, who have implemented it. I actually got to update it to point to Abel Kirby, the Abel Kirby project. So the demand is out there. People are seeing it. Musicians are some of the most entrepreneurial people in the world.
They have to be. You put food on the table.
You got to get your merch together. You got to have your cheap places to stay. You're doing the marketing. Your girlfriend's is handing out flyers. That's what it takes. But the everything's here. We're now seeing private networks popping up of doctors who have left hospital systems and medical systems, and they're now doing their own telemedicine because the technology is out there. They're building their own apps. They're putting their own stuff together, their own build. Everything's there. You do not need Silicon Valley infrastructure anymore to do these things.
Yeah. One thing that I've been trying to, okay, so we had this problem with Helipad.
Yes, the Helipad.
Couple of issues. Yeah.
The Helipad. I love the Helipad.
And so in testing that or trying to test the fixes for that, my Umbrel just can't get a route anywhere. I'm trying to send myself stuff, payments from just podcast apps, Fountain, Breeze, Podfriend.
Yeah.
And nothing comes through.
So what's
always says it can't find a route.
Well, what's your routing from your Umbrel? What are you connected to?
I'm connected to my personal node, my bigger personal node, and I've got 2 channels open to Podcast Index.
Inbound to you? You've got liquidity from the index?
Mm-hmm. I've got an outbound. I've got 188,000 sat outbound and a 200,000 sat inbound from Podcast Index. Which is odd. But actually, let me try it right now. I'm going to send myself 1,000 sats. I'm just going to try to pay it from Strike and see if that works. Because, I mean, we should have a route through from Strike.
Yeah, I think so.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't see why
because it gets into LNP.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then it should work.
Let's see what that does. Nope. Says, oops, unable to find a payment route. That's what I'm getting, and I don't understand why. I don't know. We can troubleshoot it later.
Yeah. No, I have some thoughts, but I have to look at. I have to look at the M1 shit. I gotta see what's going on.
What's the M1?
1ML dot.
Oh, whatever
it is. that thing. Oh, before we go, I just back to different interfaces.
Mm-hmm.
Roku. A Roku app that connects to the Index would kick ass.
Oh, that is a good idea.
The No Agenda Roku app has been on the Roku store and working for me for, I want to say, 8 years.
Yeah,
maybe longer than that. It's a great platform. Now, I don't think it will be. I mean, it's possible someone could set it up where maybe the wallet is disconnected from the app, and maybe you can make calls, and maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. Someone should try it. It's worth a go. Everybody, be the first. We have video content.
Yeah, I mean, just a simple UI. Podcast player UI on, and then later when the Medium stuff hits, you pull in video and all that stuff.
I got about 20 years of cognition left. You
got more than that.
What language should I learn? I just got to develop this shit myself. I can't hang around for the developers. What should I learn? Rust? Is Rust my go-to? Is that what I need to learn?
I would not suggest that as your first.
It's not my first. Hey, I can do BASIC. I can do Python, and I can understand other stuff.
Python.
Just in Python, I can. I can do.
If you're good with Python, do it.
The other day, I was so proud of myself.
AppleScript. Do AppleScript.
Fuck you. That's how it started. That AppleScript is not documented. There's just no documentation. AppleScript is horrible, and
it just exists.
And it was made for people like me. And that's actually how I found Dave Weiner. His crazy userland script, his user script was better than AppleScript. And in fact, I think Apple probably ripped the idea off from him.
There is just one programming language that's supported by the Roku platform, and it's called BrightScript.
No, brother.
BrightScript language is a Python-like scripting language. There you go.
There you go, Python. Yeah.
Bingo.
I was so proud of myself. So Tina, ever the marketing, and by the way, shame on us, and you'll hear why. Every year around October, she's like, okay, I want you to get the top 100 donors for this year. Ask Eric, the top 100 donors of all time, and you're going to email them.
Huh.
And it's a great idea, and it should be personal. Okay, I'm good with that. So I get the list from Eric, and this year, I'm like, I can do this. I can do a personal mail with a mail merge, and I can do it all with Mutt and command line and Python, and I did. So I found a script. Bare bones that interacted with Mutt in batch mode.
Every time you talk about Mutt, it cracks me the hell up.
Mutt is powerful mojo, baby. Mutt is the shizzle.
I know it is, but if you showed a normal human, any just random normie off the internet, Mutt, their head would explode.
I've actually toyed around with doing the Emacs email where it's in Emacs. Which is just so sexy. He's like, check my messages, boom, right in a document. But you have to download it locally, so I don't want to do that. It doesn't work well with IMAP. So anyway, so Mutt, it's fantastic. And then, so I get the script all working, and, it's basically just a script with a little bit of documentation from a GitHub. And then I immediately see, my server, which Mark Void Zero maintains. It's like too many TLS connections. Go away, bad man. Oops, okay.
That's not good.
So then I look at the script and okay, I just need to do a 10-second pause. And I look at the script, I try it. No, that's not it. Boom. Oh, there it is. And I was just so proud of myself. and then I did what everybody should do. I went back to GitHub, posted a comment, an issue. I said, hey, man, thank you for the script. Do you have a Bitcoin or Lightning or shit, even a PayPal, so I can buy you a coffee or send you something? And the guy comes back. He says, "Oh my God, thank you so much for posting this. This really has encouraged me to post more. It's just knowing that someone found it useful. That's great. Please, I have a great job. Just give it to a local animal shelter." And I thought, oh wow, the world is fucking beautiful this way.
So this is a thing that I had written down to talk about months ago, and we just never talked about it, is why does there not exist some kind of site or something that will interface with all known valuable open source projects and allow you to donate directly to them through Lightning? So something like, it would essentially be like a podcaster wallet, but the open source project itself could go and sign up and say, okay, here's our Lightning node address, here's our pub key, and if you want to donate to the project, and it's just basically a page of projects, and you click it and pops up a QR code, and you scan it and donate. It's like an index, like a donation index for open source projects. That should exist.
I don't know if that's the way to go. If the guy just posted a QR code right there on his GitHub page, that would be the same thing, no?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I'm just thinking that you would have some other goodies in there, like to being able to have boostergrams and donations and all that kind of stuff. Stuff that's a little almost like a what's the name? Like a Satoshi stream, but for open source projects.
Well, right, of course. That's always how we get there. Umbrel has some kind of. I wonder if it's networkable. There's some kind of Git repository app that they have in the Umbrel. I'm really high on this Umbrel thing. I've always dreamed of this kind of box, and it's I've connected my. I've set up the little Nextcloud on it, which then also connects to my email. So in a pinch, I can Tor into my Umbrel node and fire up my email. It's beautiful.
I'm so.
You don't like that?
Leery. No. Well, it's not that I don't like. I love the concept. I'm so leery of Nextcloud and OwnCloud and all those things. I'm afraid they're so big and there's so many lines of code. I'm just so afraid that they're going to be like some critical vulnerability and they're going to steal all my stuff.
Yeah, that's possible. That's very possible. I've been living with Nextcloud for a couple years. Love it. And I just rent a server with cPanel. So I do have full control over it, and it is mine. But my email is not on there. That's Mark does all that. So just IMAP. And it's just some file storage and recipes, pictures. Nothing critical ever. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah. But having it here at home, just having it behind Tor and all that I feel pretty safe.
That's probably my job for 25 years has been to be paranoid beyond belief. So that's just probably training.
This is why you're sick all the time.
It is.
You worry too much. You worry too much, my friend.
I feel like crap.
Anyway, the update to Helipad, beautiful. Works perfectly. Okay. I've got all the history in there. Love it.
So I just need to push. So the way they do this on the Umbrel side is they tie the app. There's an app registry file that has all of the apps listed that you can install, and then they reference the Docker Compose in the app in the app file. In the app folder.
Microservices architecture, baby.
And then that Docker Compose file for the app points to the image on Docker Hub, and they tie it to a specific image hash. So I can't just
change it out. Yeah, you can't just update it. Well, that's good security. That security is important. Good security.
Yeah, that is the right way to do it. So, but that just means that I'm going to have to
do another cycle.
Bump the version number and then do a pull request to update the app. And hopefully I can get that in there before this next
4.11 comes out
ships.
or whatever. Yeah.
I think that can do it. So I'll go through what the problem was.
Yeah, please. Well, can I tell everyone what the result was? What I saw is I would have the most recent boostograms within the few hours, and then there were gaps. I had a 3-week gap, but alternatively, I would have a different gap. There was just stuff missing, and I was thanking people on Curry and the Keeper and missing a whole shitload of people. So there was just gaps in the data.
Well, there were two problems. The one is the one you were talking about with the gap. And so you would have like a few recent ones, and then you'd hit this demarcation point where it would jump back like a month, and it'd be missing like 3-4 weeks. And it was always random. It was different. Then there was another problem though that would happen. And James Cridlin ran into this a few times. And I think maybe you ran into this a few times as well, or Brian of London. I can't remember, but I never could replicate it on my side. And this thing that happens was you would fire up Helipad, and it would come up and say that it's building the database, and there's nothing to show yet.
Well, that was that way always until and then I would send myself a boostogram or a boost. It would pew, and then the minute that happens, the show older boosts link would show up.
Okay, so that both of these were essentially caused by the same issue, but in two different manifestations. What goes on with Helipad is that Helipad, the app, maintains its own database of every invoice that's in the node. So when you first install it, it sucks all the Lightning invoices out of LND into its own database. And each one of those has an index number. And it's just constantly it's polling LND every few seconds to say, is there a new invoice yet?
Right.
And if there are, it sucks it in. So it's always keeping sync between the two. In order to show the boostograms, it ends up having to go backwards in the database and forwards, depending on what's happening. So sometimes you want to go back and show historical information. So you need to have sort of a descending search and say, okay, start from this index and go and show me everything older. And then but for new boostograms that are coming in for new invoices, you want to say, okay, start with this index and show me everything newer.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go either backwards or forwards.
Right. The show older boost is going backwards.
Yeah. And so in a certain scenario, what was happening is it was getting the direction wrong. And so it would say, it would get into a state, and it would say, okay, show me this. Start from this index and show me everything newer than this, but there's nothing newer to show. And so it would just come up and say, there's nothing there.
Right.
And it was just a couple of typos really
it happens to me all the time in Python.
Yeah, it does. In BrightScript. Yeah.
BrightScript. Right.
And so that's really what it boiled down to. It was kind of like two changes. One, it was an extra piece of logic to see what was being asked for from the front end, and the other one was just a pure like typo. Once we fix those, now it's seeing everything. It's using the proper direction anytime that it's asking for the certain stuff. Because if you think about it, like the reason it needs to go forward in the database sometimes is, let's just say that you're up to date. And so all the boostograms shown on the screen are current. Well, now what you want is you want to be polling the Helipad back in and saying, here's my current index. Let's just say it's 125.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say, all right, index 125, show me things that are newer than that. And you just want to keep saying that over and over, and something ever shows up that's newer than that, that's a 126 or 127,
right.
It'll give it back. otherwise, if you were having to do a descending, you'd have to just pick some random number and say, okay, 137. Let's just say, okay, I'll go ahead 20 ticks on the index count and show me everything older than that. And you're just constantly having to sort of like guess. And it worked. I mean, it would work. It would catch up with itself. But I don't know. It seems cleaner the other way to me. And so then with the boostergram, what was triggering the issue, what I found was triggering the issue with it showing up and saying that the database wasn't finished being built yet. It was the direction issue, but specifically what was happening is if you created an invoice and it didn't get paid, it would suck that invoice into the Helipad database as a blank.
Ooh, right.
And so it was an unsettled invoice with zero data in it. And when it did that,
bad invoice, bogus.
Yes, exactly. And it happened to me by accident because I was trying to get my Umbrel to route payments. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try to pay an invoice from Strike. I created an invoice, tried to pay it, and then I switched back over to Helipad and refreshed, and it blew up. It just said you don't have a database, or there's nothing to show you. I was like, oh, okay. So I go over to the SQLite database, look, and it's sitting on the current index is one of those blank unsettled invoices.
Oh, okay, got it.
Then I added another invoice manually as if a new boostergram had come in. Boom, it was fixed. And so that was also an extra fix that had to go in. So anyway, I'll push a new version. Hopefully we can get it in under the wire.
It's kicking ass. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think I rushed this thing out the door in a lot of ways and went as fast as I could. And so I think at some point in the future, probably want to do the UI thing, or before we pull in the new UI that Khalil wrote. I think I'm going to do some refactoring to make that because what I think needs to happen more than keeping everything perfectly in sync is like by sucking in every invoice. What I think is better is to just have a running counter of whatever the current L&D invoice index is. Just keep that there as a single value in the database. And then that way I don't have to pull in every single invoice. I can only pull in just the boostergrams.
Okay. Ready to have your mind blown?
Yeah, blow it.
Okay. This can also work in reverse. So, hi, did you hear that? Yeah, baby. Yeah, it's happening live. Yeah, baby. Yeah, let me go take a look.
Who was it? Who pewed you?
It was a boost for no agenda.
Oh, okay.
Not a boostergram, just a boost. So it can also work in reverse. People who have an Umbrel, they pick up, what is this Helipad thing?
Yeah.
It can be an onboarding step.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Get your API calls in. It's a beautiful onboarding place.
It is.
You've just created an entry point for podcasters.
Well, there needs to be a link on there to link out to some way to create a feed. Maybe the Jenny or something like that.
Ooh, oh my God! See how all the pieces are coming together?
Yeah. So somehow you link out, and I don't know. I like this onboarding thing because then you pull in the DIY guys.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And they're out there. That's what podcasters are.
Oh yeah.
Podcasters are DIY guys.
Mm-hmm.
And
like, the next cloud guys. I mean, these are guys that are going to want to own every link in the chain.
Right.
Like you have an Umbrel with 2 terabytes of disk space on it. Turn it into a podcast magic box.
Well, that's been there for a while. When I posted that, I was talking about IPFS on the Umbrel. I got a lot of pushback, and pretty much everyone says, there's just better protocols now. The WebTor and all this stuff is just so much better.
My problem with IFS is it's so crashy.
Mm-hmm.
It crashes all the time, and at least once a week, if not more, I get an email from our IPFS box.
Broken DB download. I see it.
Yeah, and it's usually because the IPFS daemon crashed and it's been resurrected halfway through a download. It's bothersome. It's problematic.
And this is exactly what it's meant for. Is for huge data files. That was how it was initially developed. Opportunity abound just everywhere. Since IPFS powers many of the NFT craze, we promised on our last episode, which, by the way, thank you for finishing. It was hilarious what happened on the last show. No one noticed it, but I will tell people what happened.
I didn't even hear the last part. I haven't listened to that episode.
You wouldn't know that it was disaster here in the Hill Country.
Yes, because your skills.
Well, so first of all, the show's running long. We're doing it with James, and we're really appreciative because he got up early and everything, and so we're running on close to 2 hours, and I knew that Mark Hall was coming. Now it's dark now, and Tina can't turn on the lights because of the dimmer buzz, so she's literally cooking dinner with a flashlight. I can feel her.
Are you serious?
Yes, I can feel her angst, and she's texting me like, "Are you almost there?" And so I'm listening, and we're talking, and you're like, "Oh, James, one more thing about a life philosophy I've always wanted to question you on." So I'm like, "Oh my God, that's another 15 minutes." And then Mark comes to the door. He rings the doorbell. Phoebe, the 90-pound Akbash, just flipping out. Tina's, not ready. The dog feels this. He looks like a fucking bear, like a Russian black bear. And the dog is, and I'm hitting mute, and I'm trying to go back and forth. And I finally say to Dave and James, I say, "Hey, will you guys just finish it up? And Merry Christmas." I got to deal with the situation. So I came back an hour later, and the recorder was still running. And I was able to piece it all together. So no one was the wiser until I spoiled it. There you go.
Perfectly understandable. This is wife management 101.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Let's just say partner management, shall we?
Oh, okay. Oh, sure.
I don't even know how we got to that. Oh, yeah. So anyway, and as a part of that, we cut the show short because you said, "Hey, should we joke about NFTs?" I said, no. Let's wind this up, Dave. So
your life is in chaos. Let's talk about some NFTs. Have you ever bought an NFT?
I have received an NFT months ago. Someone created a no agenda NFT and said, "Here, install NetMask and do this wiki waki wookie," and then I owned it. And I got $7 or something, and honestly, I have not looked since.
Okay. Would you like to know how you go about buying an NFT?
It's MetaMask. I'm sorry. It's
MetaMask. I've heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah. How the hell do I do that? How does this work?
The guys over at Mere Mortals, Vaughn specifically, he walked through the process of him buying some NFTs. And I think these are like dinosaur. I don't understand. This is part I don't understand. I guess these are images. Like you have these collector NFTs that are like images of a dinosaur or a gorilla or I don't really understand these things.
Sexy.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's top notch.
Yeah.
He will, in clip 1, he walks through how the buying of the NFTs work.
We talk a lot about NFTs and a lot of other things, so I won't go too much into depth into what they are. But basically, it's an NFT, right, of dinosaurs. Cool. But they were minting, and I was fortunate enough that I was able to get pre-minting, which basically meant I was able to purchase the particular NFTs before they actually went on public sale.
So that might be like pre-IPO or pre...
Kind of, that's the example. So pre-IPO, pre-everybody getting in. Cool. So I purchased 4 of them, of one of them, which I gave to a good friend of mine. Cool. Fantastic. Now, there was no troubles there, but, and I did mention this to you, the way that you actually had to do it, and there was a little bit of a manual process, was they would basically say, how many did you want, in basically a message through the Discord channel, how many do you want? I would say, I want 4. They would give you the address, and you just sent money there. And you would have to just hope, in trust, that they were going to send him back. Now, they did, right? And I was saying to you, look, there was obviously some trust built up in the fact that these people, I'd heard them talk and, ask me anything style questionnaires. I've interacted with them, messaged them. They seemed cool. I wasn't too worried. I was
Did
like...
they want to screen share with you? And
No. But I was like, let's say, maybe there was a 0.2% doubt, right? Cool.
Okay, so the evidently the way, or one of the ways that you buy NFTs is you just randomly send somebody money and hope that they send you an NFT. That's essentially what this boiled down to.
Oh, that's what they call a smart contract.
Yeah, sure.
I actually was just able to open my MetaMask wallet, and sitting there, I have 0.0159 ETH equals $58.86. So my winnings went up since I got my NFT money. Wait, I do have an asset? What is this? No.
They've appreciated in value.
Yes, I have. Okay. So that sounds kind of weird. So that I thought because I know when I got mine, it was like a click, and then it said you got it, and fuck, I don't remember, Dave. It probably
I
was
there to be some sort of encryption fueled purchase process,
some handoff
with the blockchain. Yeah. Then it interacts with the blockchain. I mean, this is Web 3.0, baby. This has got to be like.
I'm sorry, it's Web 3, not 3.0. It's 3. Web 3. Web 3. Web 3. Web 3. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, okay, so that's dicey. But at least like the actual purchasing of the NFT. I mean, the transaction itself, that's got to be solid, right? I mean, you would think that. But let's listen to clip 2.
What added to this, though, is like I'm thankful I didn't partake in this because I was going to buy more on release, and I was like, dude, this sounds crazy. And then there were so many people. So the Discord channel went from, they said 7,500 to 8,000 people to 15,000 in about 20 minutes. And there were so many people messaging, it crashed the whole Discord channel, which at the same time, there was bots and this happens all the time in space. There was bots and other people creating fake Discord channels, sending you messages being like, oh, hey guys, this is the actual Discord channel, send us the money. And people were sending money all over the place to different addresses, and they weren't getting shit.
Yeah.
And so they finally got the thing back and had to put like all these announcements being like, I hope nobody sent all this money, and like there was messages all over the place being like, this was the worst release ever, like I lost all my money, blah, etc.
Yeah, I think there's the releasing of the NFTs, and I believe Marvel works with a company that does this professionally. So it does take some actual infrastructure to set it up and have it work in some orderly fashion. I think the Discord channel is kind of the DIY way, which is you get what you pay for type deal.
DIY in the South we call that half-ass.
That's what it sounds like.
But I mean, like, okay, so fine, everybody makes mistakes. They get all, nothing's perfect. But I mean, at least they have, communication channels secure and everything. So I mean, at least the process of, at least this plan B sort of Discord process. I mean, at least that is dependable. I mean, you would think.
Yeah.
Maybe clip 3.
What added to this, though, is like I'm thankful I didn't partake in this because I was going to buy more on release, and I was like, dude, this sounds crazy. And then there were so many people. So the Discord channel went from.
Wait, is this the same as clip 2?
It's not supposed to be. Is that?
Did I play the wrong clip? Hold on a second.
Are they the same?
Did I?
Now I don't know how they found this out.
I think I played clip 3 instead of clip 2. Wait, let me see what this is.
What added to this, though,
3.
is like I'm thankful I didn't partake in this because I was going to buy more on release, and I was like, dude, this sounds crazy. And then there were so many people. So the Discord channel went from, they said 7,500.
Yeah, we played that one. I guess I played them out of order. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Now I don't know how they found this out, but there's actually like not I wouldn't say well-known hackers, but people know that people are going to hack a particular release. So this one, come the actual public release, it was going to happen in 2 days. And they found out, hey, this group, which I think is called the 721 something, well, like, they were going to go and hack their sale. And what that meant was, there was usually a limit of, like, you can only buy 10 or 15 or 5 of a particular thing. But they could get around in the contract, just like, I'm not even going to get into it, just very technically, they could mess around with the contract so they could buy 1,000 of them. for the money, but they could buy 1,000, then all of a sudden they have like a monopoly, or not a monopoly, but a really large portion of them, and they control a lot of the price, so people don't want that, because that's happened before. So what they decided to do was, it was basically like at the last 10-15 minutes before the public release, they sent them as being like, no, we're about to get like hacked. We do not want to do this to happen. So they delayed the release, and what they did was, okay, you have to send us a message on the Discord channel with a particular way and tell us how many you want, and we're going to limit it to 3, I think they were saying. They was limited to 3 dinosaurs. You have to message us, and it was just going to be a first come, first serve. Like, you message us, you send us the money to a particular address, and like, you might get it, you might not. You have no idea what on the list is.
All right, so I apologize. I played him out of order.
That's okay, but it's still, I mean, like,
and then the Discord, nothing is.
This thing is a complete disaster.
Well, okay, so from the Marvel standpoint, I'll tell you what I can tell you. Because, in essence, what's going on, and they do not have these issues. So I know that they have a partner. I forget who it is. So I think it is the IPFS guys, actually, who built the NFT type business out of this. Vivo or Vito or something like that. You could probably look it up. So that's pretty orderly, whatever they're doing, but they're taking it in exactly the same direction as the baseball trading cards. So you're going to see packages, and their assets are the superheroes, the comic books. You know, the whole business of this Marvel Entertainment is licensing. So, you know, everything in the comic, but all that imagery, all the words, they own all of that. So
Vive? V-E-V-E?
Yeah, I think that sounds right. Vive.
Yeah, okay.
So, remind me to tell you about that.
Okay.
So they're going to package that up where you pay like $100, and there could be, you know, there could be a $1,000 valuable rookie card in there, but it's more likely you've got $80 worth of cards, right?
Yeah, like that you have like the commons and the uncommons and the rares and all. Yeah. So
and
just a trading card. Yeah.
Yeah, and he says there's really 2 audiences. You have the audience that that's really into this and hopes to find something valuable. Then you have the people who have a lot of money who, when they were poor and young, couldn't buy the cool card, and so they go out and they spend whatever they need to just to do it, right? And he says ultimately this will wind up with a very small percentage being extremely valuable, and all the rest is shit. It's worthless. Right. It's completely worthless. Yeah. What was interesting is my old agent from Hollywood called me a couple weeks ago. Hey, Adam, it's Matthew Lesher, Super Agent Lesher. Matthew, how you doing?
Does he sound like that?
Oh yeah. Hey, it's Matthew. How you doing? Happy Hanukkah.
He sounds like the the Penthouse magazine guy.
Well, the hard part is whenever he called, I'm like, hey Matthew, I can't help but do his voice. He says, I have a client. I gotta stop. I have a client, and he wants to do an NFT, and I just want the right partner. I said, well, my buddy, he knows the right partner. Who's your client? His name Brian. Is it Brian Cross? Brian Cross from Succession. Not Brian Cross.
I don't know. Brian Cross.
Hold on a second. Succession.
Cox. Brian Cox.
Brian Cox. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Brian Cox. So, have you ever seen Succession?
No.
Okay. So,
even know. I never even heard of it.
Brian Cox. Is it Brian Cox? Is that right? Yeah, Brian Cox. So he's he's an older actor, and he plays the patriarch of this, basically like a Murdoch type guy of a media company, and his kids are all fuck ups, and, and he wants to cut them all out, and they're all fighting, the whole thing, everything. And it's, having known a couple of wealthy families like this, it's pretty accurate, I would say, in the kind of shit that goes on. But his kind of line in the series is this: fuck off. And they're turning that into an NFT.
Oh God.
He apparently he makes like $5,000 a pop on Cameo. Are you familiar with Cameo?
No.
They've approached me several times. No, Cameo is an app, and Snoop Dogg, a whole bunch of actors do it. I just can't bring myself to do it. And you can set a price. You say you want a personal video message from Adam Curry. It'll be $2,000. And through the app, they pay for it, and then you do it. And
it's essentially those people that ask us to do Booster.
Yeah, exactly.
Boostergram thing.
It's the same thing.
But you do it for $1.25.
If that. So he gets $5,000, I think, for just doing, hey, Dave Jones, fuck off. He gets $5,000 for that. So like, shit, we got to do NFTs. And they're doing it. So there'll be a Brian Cox NFT. Just thought it was funny.
I mean, I just don't, I understand that NFTs, I understand that they can be valuable in certain contexts. I'm not poo-pooing the whole idea of an NFT. I mean, because essentially an NFT is just a cryptographically secure.
Yeah, proof of ownership is all object. It is.
Yeah. And that in and of itself is.
It's a sales receipt.
Yeah.
But without the goods, if it's digital. See, I believe in NFTs for physical goods. I think that's a pretty interesting idea.
Well, and I could see it as being sort of a token that you can pass around to give people.
Well, here's how I would do
permission for things, or
here's how I would do it. If we were going to do an NFT, it would be no, we're not going to. I'm just saying if it would be numbered T-shirts, and we
can't even get real T-shirts out the door.
Hey, let's thank some people. The real business, which is value for value. The whole Podcast Index project is value for value. This podcast is value for value. We have been delivering value, and we love receiving value back. Every developer, every thinker, every podcaster who has contributed is a part of this system. Go read Gigi's article. You see, you're part of a trend that has been around for thousands of years. But yet we are resurrecting with our new tools, and we can be very proud of what we're doing.
His section of that article on maximizing profits, top notch.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So, who do we thank today for supporting everything, Dave?
Out of the gate, we're thanking Benjamin, Ben, and Alberto from RSS.com, who gave us $1,800.57.
Oh my
Baller,
goodness.
Shot caller, 20-inch blades on the Impala.
Now, did this come after I posted on podcastindex.social that, oh, by the way, everybody, the hosting guys are supporting us more than anybody?
Yeah, you poor mouthed us and made everybody step up, which they did in a huge way. And
it seems like everybody stepped up, and that was really heartwarming. It's because it's easy to forget, and I know this is why value for value has to continuously. You have to remind, you have to ask people, you have to tell people what you're doing. Sometimes you throw a sad puppy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're broke, you say we're broke. Now we're not broke, but you laid it right out there. We're pretty much break even. We're not putting any money in our pockets. No, it's going right back into the operation.
Yeah. And that sort of transparency helps people to understand where we're at.
And and also people, if you just listen and count, you can find out exactly how much comes in every week. We're giving the amounts on the show.
Yeah.
So it's easy to track.
Our expenses run roughly $1,000 to $1,200 a month, and you can just listen to the shows and see
what's coming.
Are they getting $1,000 or $1,200 a month? It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, that's about it. Exactly.
So they sent us $1,800.57. He says, "This is Ben." He says, "Here's a 1K boost, $857. What a great year we've had listening to and watching the Podcasting 2.0 and Podcast Index journey. The whole team at RSS.com wishes the whole team behind the 2.0 namespace an equally successful 2022. Go podcasting."
Boost! Go podcasting!
What was that?
Boost! That's the keeper.
Oh, no. Is that the keeper filtered through a she threw this out on the show, and just before we started today,
I just grabbed it and I recorded it and I think I overmodulated it. So now it's coming out. It sounds like
she's
that.
inside a theremin.
So I kind of liked it. I'm like, we just got to keep that one going.
Brian of London gave us an interesting boost. He gave us a $500 donation through Hive. So we have $500 in Hive now.
Okay.
Thank you to Brian.
What is the Hive equivalent of boost? Boost. Boost.
Boost.
Okay.
Nice. And he asked me, he said, hey, I want to donate $500 to you. I want it in Lightning or in Hive. And I was like, it's just, you're Brian of London.
Yeah. You got to give it. It has to be Hive. Hello. Yeah. And it's good. We need Hive power.
We do. Yep.
Yeah,
because we still want to build that up so that we can be self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Hive self-sufficient.
Hive independent.
That is an oxymoron. That's an oxymoron.
Independent is what we are.
Marco Arment gave us $500.
Marco, thank you.
Every month.
Now, is his search still? Does that hit our index at all?
No, he's still married to Apple when it comes to search.
Because people were saying, "Hey, I can't find Curry and the Keeper on Overcast."
Yeah, and I don't know how amenable he would be to opening up a little bit.
No, he's got his own theory on that. That's fine.
Yeah, so.
But he's not getting some top-notch content.
That's true. But he's comes in every month without fail, $500, and it's greatly appreciated.
Way above and beyond.
Yes. Thank you, Marco. Alex Gates, the Podcasting 2.0 consultant.
Yes.
$100. One off.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Alex.
Alex is working on some stuff. Alex started a new job, and so he's been pressed for time, but he's definitely starting some more work on on Podping. So he's
cool.
He's going to be working on on integrating the live notifications and stuff like that into Podping. He's really already back working on it right now. So,
cool. He's settled into the job. He's automated all the tasks. He's just drinking coffee. Like, what can I do? Oh yeah, let me get back to Podping. Yeah. So that I just imagine him being that guy. I see what needs to be done. It's all set. Okay, it's rolling.
He built the Rube Goldberg machine, and now he can just go eat lunch.
Do it. Yes.
Matt Medeiros from Castos sent us $100.
Thank you.
He says, "Go podcasting."
Yeah, heck yeah.
Go podcasting!
Did you see his video on
Yes, I did. It was fantastic.
Top notch. I had this idea last night that I was going to chop that video up and put in some music and stuff like that, and do some sort of GX2 mix up, mash up thing.
Nice, yeah.
And I fell asleep.
Boost.
Thank you, Matt. Oscar Mary, he of Fountain FM fame, gave us $100, and he says, "For the servers, Merry Christmas."
Well, Merry Christmas to you, and thank you. And I love the latest marketing.
Yes.
Fountain showing us the top value for value apps.
It's like the Spotify Unwrapped thing.
Yeah. Oh, we got another one. Hold on a second.
No, who was that? Report.
Holy shit.
What? Was it a big one?
Yeah. It was a dude. It was Dreb Scott came in live, and he says it's 100,000 sat boost.
Oh crap! Was that to us?
Yeah.
Oh, you're reading it live.
Yeah, and he says,
nice.
Yeah, and he says, "Go podcasting." Hold on a second. I'll do that.
Go podcasting!
Yeah, he boosted episode 67. I know exactly what. Look, Dreb Scott. This guy is Bruce Wayne. Okay, so he's the Bruce Wayne of podcasting 2.0. He knows that we're doing the show right now. He knows that the pew pew, because it happened while Tina and I were doing the show. He knows that the pew pew comes through, and he's doing this. I guarantee you, he's like, I'm going to be the first person to do a Boostagram live on the show, and he did it.
You need, you need to somehow hook that thing up where it'll where you can hear it better.
I'm going to turn it on. What do you mean? I need to? Do you know who you're talking to?
Oh yeah, no. I'm giving audio advice to the Podfather.
Okay, let me send myself a boostergram, see if it works. So thank you, Dreb.
Thank you, Dreb.
Just coming in on
100,000 sats.
Okay, let me just see if this.
Did he have a message in there?
Go podcasting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the go podcasting bit. Wow, this is very exciting. When are we doing this live, Dave? When are we going to throw up the stream? And Stephen B is working on some stuff secretly.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm,
yeah. Whenever we can get live, let's see, I'm doing live medical analysis on the show here. I've got my fever is 99.8. That's coming down.
Oh, man. Okay, so I just boosted myself from Podfriend. Let's see if that comes through and if it works. All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dreb.
Yep, there it is.
How long did that take, by the way? What was the time span?
5 seconds, maybe.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, whoever made Helipads.
It's just an awesome dude.
Product.
Yeah, it's a very clearly top notch. Yes.
Christopher Lagonic. What? All right, this is a hard name. He's Chris LW on podcastindex.social. His name is Christopher Lagonic Weitzel.
Okay.
All right, Chris, tell me if that's right. He gives $100 and he says, "Keep up the great work in 2022, Chris from CT." All right, I guess that's Connecticut.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Appreciate it, man. $100. Very much appreciated. Like everybody stepped up. It's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Sullivan gave us $100. And there's no note attached to Edward Sullivan's.
Well, we do appreciate it.
How you doing,
contribution.
Booster?
Mm-hmm. How you doing, Booster? Boost. Right. Kevin Bay. Oh, been around a long time. Kevin Bay's been around forever. He sent us $100 and he says, "Merry Christmas, Dave and Adam. Podcasting 2.0 is the gift that keeps on giving. Go podcasting.
Go podcasting.
Podcasts are cool.
Yes, they are. Here we go. James Cridlin gave us, he did a $50 subscription for us. He's $50 a month.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's cool. We put him in the value block, by the way. That was cool.
Did he get anything from it?
Yes. I said, okay, James, I've published the feed. I've got you in the split. I promised him 30%. And he came back right away and posted a screenshot. He said receive. So it was working.
Okay, so I just want to
cool.
I want to pause here for a second and just realize what has happened. This may be a first of all time. We have successfully gotten a consultant to give us money, Alex Gates, and also a journalist to give us money, James Cridlin. Can I just say that we're cooking with gas here?
Go podcasting.
Thank you, James.
Excellent observation, Watson.
Thank you.
Very good.
Lisa DeFord gave us $25. There was no note from Lisa. I asked and she responded.
Where do we know Lisa from?
I don't know a Lisa DeFord.
So
do you know that name?
No. We don't have many women in the gang. So
yeah, the bat signal, the alarms went off as woman donation.
Yeah, well, welcome. You are welcome here. We're nerds. We're harmless.
So, Lisa, if you got a note, be glad to read it.
Let us know. Yeah, let us know what you're doing if you're working on something.
Clift Family Scouts gave us $25. No note on that. Thank you, Clift Family Scouts.
By the way, just so people know, in the Curry household here in the Hill Country, in the shack, I have 4 podcasts. All of them have at least a monitoring split in the value block for my Umbrel. That pew pew sound is a part of our life. It is
all day long.
So cool. It'd be like, oh, Boostergram. All right, Boostergram. Pew 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 Boostergram.
Yeah,
all day long.
It's like a haptics. It's your house haptics.
House haptics, yeah.
Imran Ahmed gave us $21.
Thank you.
There's a note. It says, from Great Pods with the thanks. Oh, thanks.
Well, thank you, Great Pods.
Great Pods, yeah. I know those guys. Follow them on Twitter. Thank you, Imran and Great Pods. Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna try to say this name. Tomas Sjoblom. SJO with the umlaut BLOM.
Sjoblom. Yeah, sounds about right.
All right. Tomas Sjoblom gave us $20. No note, but thank you, Thomas.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Is he from a Scandinavian region?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Does it have the O with the line through it?
It's the O with the two dots above it.
Oh, umlaut. An umlaut.
Yeah, umlaut. Yeah, yeah.
What is the thing with the? I'm sorry to interrupt. What is the thing with the line through it? What do you call that?
I call it a thing with a line through it.
Yeah, me too. It doesn't seem like it's the right thing to call it, though.
I call it the short vowel sound.
I call it something that doesn't work in Unicode is what I call it.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't show up. Could be an emoji, could be some Swedish letter.
An emoji, yeah. It's messed up OPML is what it is. Cohen Glatzbach gave us $5.
Thank you.
No note. And he's got, that's a subscription. A $5 subscription.
Beautiful.
Thank you,
That's a server. Thanks, man.
Yep. Thank you, Clon. JC Van Brunt sent us $5. I mean, he may be from Texas and just say Van Brunt.
But we'll say Van Brunt.
Yeah, I'm Van Brunt. I'm going to give him the formal title.
Benefit.
Yeah. $5. Thank you, Van Brunt. We got some. Wait. Before I'm not doing monthlies yet. I got to do boostergrams.
Yeah, boostergrams. Hold on a second. I haven't heard. There we go.
Here's your cue to boost. You know you want to.
Boost.
Boob donation from Circus Media. He says it's 8008 through Breeze, and he says boost.
Yeah,
you guys are awesome. Thank you for all the value.
Boost.
The overmodulation on that makes it work.
That's what does it. I know.
Yeah,
it's like Jimi Hendrix of boostergrams.
That's it. Yeah, setting the guitar on fire with the lighter fluid.
Yeah.
Stephen B. Oh, Stephen B. Through CurioCaster, of course, sent us 61,241 sats.
Damn. Boost! Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're feeling better, Stephen.
He
had a rough go of it.
He did.
Man, anytime you have like a gut thing, it's just miserable.
So Dave, I know that April gets nuts for you again, so we have this window.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think could you hoof it up to Texas or over to Texas before then, so we can do like a 2.0 meetup? So many people who are a part of this are in Texas.
It has to be after. Yeah, it has to be after April.
Okay,
April 15th.
Okay,
yeah, because we have the run up to, like, we're full bore right now with onboarding new employees and all that stuff.
Or someone out there could just say, "This is such a great project. I'm going to donate $100,000 so that Dave can stop working for the man."
Hmm. That's also an option. It's one I wholeheartedly endorse.
It's a big boost.
Yeah,
be quite a boost.
Stephen B said, "I don't have as much time, talent, nor treasure as I'd like." Oh, please. You got all three of those, brother.
Thank you, indeed.
But this project is important. So here's half of CurioCaster's sats from the last month. Now that's interesting.
That is interesting.
From the last month, he got 120,000 sats. I mean, that's not
hold on a second.
Day job money, but I mean,
that's quite decent. And I would say on the list of just, the data that I'm seeing, I would say CurioCaster is consistently number 3 on the list. It kind of depends. Like CurioCaster, Podfriend CurioCaster is a little higher, I think, on what we're seeing coming in, and then Breeze and Fountain, I think, has been top for a while.
So that's roughly $50 at the current exchange rate. 120,000 sats, so roughly $55 a month of income. And so, I mean, if you're talking about, if you were to get that up some to,
need more people to use it.
Sats,
just need more people to use it. That's all.
Yeah. Then you're talking of $250 a month of income.
Yeah.
From an app.
That's like cocaine money. I don't know why I said that. I have no idea why I said that.
He's like, oh, damn, I got some cocaine money.
I don't even like it.
Thank you, Stephen B. You didn't have to do that, bro.
Appreciate it. And love the Jenny, the broken out Jenny. He's also got the image tags working in there.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the Jenny has turned into such a good test bed for all this stuff. It's what we always wanted.
Yeah, I'm even adding my social links now to my other shows. I've gotten dangerous now.
Ooh,
yeah,
wow!
From different Mastodon servers, which I promptly fucked up, but I'll get better.
Comic Strip Blogger gave us 3,333 sats from Podfriend.
Let me guess, he has a note.
He does have a note. It says, "Merry Christmas to you, AC. Merry Christmas to you, AC, and to Dave. More boostergrams next week." Okay, he sent that on December 23rd. That was just a Christmas note. Not even a plug for podcasting.ai.
Well, let's plug
AI.cooking.
AI.cooking is his AI podcast. Boost! Appreciate the boost, CSB.
I see a couple of 33s in here. I bet he's going to have
it's got to be. It's got to be. He does three a show.
Yeah, donations. Let's see. 50 sats from Chris through the Fountain app. And he just says, roar.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
We read them all, people. Boostergram, 22,222 sats, a huge row of ducks.
Yeah.
A long line of ducks. From Harv Hat through the CurioCaster app. And he says, upping the sats and lining up a row of ducks.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. See, everyone heard it. Everyone heard, like, you know what? These boostergrams are great, but we need to up the money a little bit. And that's it. You're doing it. You're doing it. Thank you.
Boost! Abel Kirby, 20,000 sats through CurioCaster, and he says, extra boost for good measure. Well, thank you, Abel Kirby.
Thank you very much.
Partner, how long has it been since you clicked boost? That's too long.
That's right.
That's Abel Kirby, isn't it?
Is it?
Was that it? I thought it was.
I have the Ring of Fire.
Well, I fell into a podcast ring.
Oh, that may be what I'm thinking of.
I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns. A ring of fire. Podcast Ring of Fire.
Is there another one being set up? Another podcast Ring of Fire?
There was one that somebody was doing one because Sir Spencer said he was doing it the other night.
Oh, okay.
I guess they already did it. Here, Abel Kirby again, 45,000 sats.
Oh, man.
This is the album drop here. It says
right.
Through the CurioCaster. He says, Dear Admin Dave, Merry Christmas. Today, Sir Spencer and I are releasing our Podcasting 2.0 Value for Value album. Our band is called Abel and the Wolf, and the album is called Stay a While. There's been a lot of buzz about it, so I hope we can live up to the hype. As Karen Down put it, we're quoted. Wait, as Karen Down put it in a quote, the hottest Christmas album dropped since Crazy Frog. Okay. You can find it at
We're a bunch of freaks.
Yes. We're so this everybody involved with this thing is super weird. You can find it at ableandthewolf.com, but it will show up in any PC 2.0 music app should one ever be created. Just exactly what we were talking about earlier.
Uh-huh.
Please give it a listen. Also, Adam, I do still expect album of the year. Go podcasting.
Absolutely.
Go podcasting!
Right in under the wire, ladies and gentlemen. Released in the last week of the year, the album of the year, the MVP, Abel and the Wolf.
So maybe that means that we should have an
award show?
Award show. Yes.
Yes.
Award show.
Here's the award show. Here's how it works. It is, in fact, who boosts the most wins.
It's just raw numbers.
We have multiple. No. We have multiple categories. We have categories of Boostagram jokes, Boostagram tips, as in a tech tip, Boostagram tech tip, and and then the more you know boost category.
I like it. And then the always popular King of the Hill. I boosted the most of anybody else.
Yes,
award.
That's right. That's the one. Exactly.
I like the album of the year though.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Well, hello. Okay. So whoever builds this mythical directory, which I just sketched out, you need to have a tally. Who's popular?
Yeah.
And how do you measure popularity? I have an idea. You've got the stats.
Yep.
So
the stats are stats.
Yes, it's just stats. Yep.
Chad Farrow gave us 333 sats, and he says, "Welcome to This Week in Radio, Tweer." Okay.
Thanks, Chad. Chad is he's doing more marketing than I am. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think he's got an auto retweet machine.
He's everywhere. Yeah, he's everywhere. Another mysterious podcasting 2.0 figure that makes it so colorful.
Cass Peeland gave us 3,300 sats, and he's through Fountain. And he says, "Thanks for the work." Well, you're welcome, Cass.
Thank you.
20,000 sats from Brian Mozzie. And he says, that's through Fountain. And he says, "Pew pew, Christmas boost."
Boost!
Thank you, Brian. Sir Pete. Sir Pete gave us row of ducks, 22,222 sats through Podfriend.
Jeez.
He says, Happy New Year. Thanks for running this great initiative. You've been an inspiration. Here's a big sack of ducks.
Nice. Quack, quack. We need a duck sound, don't we?
We need a duck boost, yeah.
Do I have a quack in my... Shoot, I
arsenal?
do not have a quack sound effect.
Somebody can help us out.
Yeah.
Put it in the toolbox. Brian Mozzie again with 14,851 sats. Oh, I like it because, okay, here's what he did. The timestamp in this boostergram is 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 51 seconds. So he sent us 14851.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's slick. Hey, there's another thing. Automatically, the boost number goes up by number of minutes you're listening.
I like that. That will encourage people to do like 40-hour episodes. So
yes. Now, I don't have a duck, but I do know how to solicit duck donations.
Okay.
A duck call. It'll always do it.
You hear that a lot around the Hilltop Cafe.
I bet. Yeah, yes. Jimmie Vaughan and the duck calls.
Jimmie Vaughan, was he Stevie Ray Vaughan's
brother? Yeah. Older brother.
Okay. Man, that's one of the biggest regrets that I have is I had a chance to see Stevie Ray Vaughan. He came and played with Eric Clapton.
Yes, that's right.
In Birmingham, and this was like literally ended up being like 2 months before he died. And I did not go to the show. I think I chose I already had tickets and everything, and I ditched it for something else. And then he died like 3 weeks later. I was like, oh,
it's interesting.
Man, I wish I would've gone.
Jimmie is opening for Clapton right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And boy, what a waste. What a stupid waste. That was such a dumb helicopter. Now that now I'm a pilot, now I know. It was just wires, man. Fucking wires. They'll kill you every time.
Wires? What do you mean?
Oh, they lifted off from the concert ground and flew right into high voltage wire.
Oh man.
And it's so hard to see when you're flying. That's why whenever you're flying a helicopter, the more you know. Whenever you're flying a helicopter, you will see the high power lines. You'll see the towers. You always, always, always fly over the top of a tower.
So you know you're out of the wire.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, always.
That makes perfect sense.
And never in between them.
Mm-hmm.
Always over.
So Brian Mozzie gave us 14,851 sats, and he says, "Hurrah for bug fixes!" I agree.
Yeah, baby.
Made it through the whole episode without freezing playback. Oh, this is a continuation of his running commentary.
I saw this.
14,851 sats for the 14851 episode length. Thanks to Oscar and the Fountain team. Well, thank you, Brian Mozzie. 508 sats from Anonymous. He says, "Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Oh,
hello. See, he's on the leaderboard for the awards. a joke boostagram. Mm-hmm.
Dad joke award. Let's see. Comic strip blogger 3333 through Podfriend. He says, First of 3 this week. Greetings from comic strip blogger to Dave Jones and AC. And anybody interested in artificial intelligence is welcome to subscribe and listen to the podcast called AI.Cooking. That can be found in all podcast apps and in all podcast indexes by searching for AI.Cooking. Yo.
Boost.
Yo.
10,000 sats from Nick. I wonder if this is the Nick. This may be Oscar Mary's partner in crime.
Oh, okay. That sounds right.
His name is Nick.
Yeah.
It's through the Fountain app. 10,000 sats. And he says, really enjoyed this interview with James. Thank you, Adam and Dave, for all your hard work this year. Well, thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Okay, 25,000 sats. Oh, from Kyle Abear.
Wow.
Our buddy.
Yes.
He of Boost fame.
Here he is.
Boost.
This is not him.
Boost.
That's not. That's a theremin pretending to be your wife.
Theremin Boost.
Through the Fountain app, Kyle Abear says, happy holidays from the Boost guy.
Yeah.
Much love from the intergalactic boombox. The sats must flow.
Yeah, one more time.
Boost.
The sats must flow. That's a Dune reference. The spice must flow.
Ooh, good. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. 49,049 sats.
Jeez. This is
From
so
John's
exciting.
BRT. He goes through the Fountain app and he says, just saw the @Jack Fountain Podcasting 2.0 tweet. Bullish on the future. We're going to make it. Oh, did you see that?
No.
Yeah. Jack Dorsey retweeted a Fountain.
What?
He retweeted something that Fountain posted.
That's fantastic. Hold on a second.
I think it was the end of year stats thing.
Wow. Hey now.
Yeah.
That's cool. Did I see this? I need to read. Oh, here it is. Fountain.
Yeah, he
retweeted.
Yeah. He did
Nice.
a retweet on one of his tweets. Yeah.
Nice.
That's nice, yeah. Vila gave us 1,000 sats, and he said through Podfriend, and he says, Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year, Vila.
Happy New Year to you.
Oh, 1,000 sats from Nomad Joe through Podfriend, and he says, Happy Holidays from the road.
Yo, man.
Okay.
Drive safe.
Yeah. See, Alex Trebus. Says it's 20,000 sats through CurioCaster, and he says, tip, ask the programmers to add a local currency in the boost button so that donators will be more aware about the amount they are sending.
Yes.
Keep up the good work. Are you on board with that?
Well, in general, I'm a fan of. Here, I'll tell you what I'm a fan of. So here's a real world example. I'm reading Gigi's article, and there's a natural break in this article where he's talking about value for value, and if you value something, you like it, you got to give back. And right there, he has a support this article button. Did you see that right there?
Yeah,
right.
the give value back button.
Yeah. So I hit the value back. It pops up a QR for Bitcoin, not Lightning, but for Bitcoin on chain. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to send him $50. And then I'm like, no, I'm going to send him 100,000 Satoshis. It's a little less than $50, but for me to be able to see I type in 100,000 and underneath in small, kind of like the Zap wallet does, it's a fiat currency. I think that is,
okay.
I think that's very handy. And you know who requests this the most? Who's always telling me, was always asking me, why don't these guys put that? Why don't these guys? Mo. Mo is very concerned about this.
Okay.
So take that for what it's worth.
I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth about it. I mean, if it helps, go ahead. The bottom line is if it helps adoption, helps people feel more comfortable with it, I'm good with it.
It will help adoption tremendously.
Because here's my reservation about it is that if you denominate it in local currencies, it's more likely to arouse the ire of regulators and people like that. I mean, like, because you think about it in an app. I mean,
hold on, we can't hide. If that's true, then we're just delaying the inevitable.
Okay. Well, I can see that.
So, okay. How about the web apps do it then?
Yeah, well, I see with the web apps, I can
So
see
you're not worried about regulators. You're worried about App Store and App Store payment systems, and
Yes.
you've been traumatized by this, and you now have a hang up.
I do have a hang up.
Remember that? You didn't have
yes.
you used to have mental health issues. I got a hang up, and it's just I'm working on it. Back in the day,
I've been triggered.
Yeah, now I'm triggered. I just got a hang up. Hey, don't worry about it. So
I'm on a completely different tab on my browser. I've lost all context of what we were doing. Oh, we're doing donations. That's right.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about the fiat. I feel I love the Zap wallet has it. You tap you can tap between fiat and sometimes you can tap between Bitcoin. Of course, a lot of zeros after the decimal. So I do think in sats. I do think that way. I think it's handy to know what it really is, and so to have that underneath it in the Zap wallet, it's even grayed out. It's very subjective to the Satoshi amount.
Well, I go back and forth, and I just look. As long as I know roughly what Bitcoin in US dollars is, if it's $50,000 per Bitcoin at the moment,
yeah. Then you know it's
then
half.
I know I know that I'm good with my standard boost amounts like 2112 and things like that. Mm-hmm. And once it starts creeping up like, near 70,000, I have to
reassess.
Reassess, yeah.
Well, but I think but there's that angle, but also, when we said, hey, it's great that you're sending us thousands of sats, but we're having difficulty keeping the lights on. Yeah. That's just because people don't really think about it, which is good. Because you want people to see it as a game. I mean, as a mechanism, a loop, something you can participate in. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to pure value, it's important people understand what value they're sending. And I think that kind of got lost. The other way to do it is to limit boostergrams to certain amounts, which I'm not a big fan of, but you have to go to it. With this project and this podcast, I don't think we'll ever have to do that because we'll never get the audience. And it's not intended for an audience of massive proportion.
And by the way, we have no idea how many people listen to this show. No,
don't care.
Don't care. Don't know. Don't care.
Don't care. Really don't care. All I see is sat streaming in every single minute of every single hour of the day. And I know someone's listening.
That's what you were on the New Media show. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that Todd said. He was like, what's the biggest, most important thing that every podcaster cares about? Every podcaster. And his answer was growth. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
and I said, no, what the hell is that? What is growth?
Yeah, that's what you said. You're like, what does that even mean? As long as you have the income you need to pay your bills and the things are and you're going in the right direction, you're not tanking. Why does it matter how many? It only matters in the context of advertising.
Yep.
And if that's where you want to go, that's fine. But you're hitching yourself to that horse, and when you're staying up all night worried about your growth.
That's a good
point.
Up
all night worried about boostergrams.
Exactly. Or you just walk around the house and you're like, I wonder how the podcast is. Oh, I'm sorry, it's doing just fine. People are listening.
5,000 sats from C-Dubs through the Breeze app, and he says, "Thanks for the value, C-Dubs."
Thank you, C-Dubs.
One more comic strip blogger. Says,
I was waiting for the hat trick.
The trifecta. It says, third of this week. Greetings from comic strip blogger to Dave Jones and AC. And anybody interested in artificial intelligence is welcome to subscribe and listen to the podcast called AI.cooking. That can be found in all podcasts.
I love comic strip blogger. He's been in my life longer than you've been in my life. But he always does this kind of stuff. It's like, dude, just send us 10,000 sats and we'll make a big deal out of your podcast. And now it's just going to be 3 times we read the same message. I understand that from an engineering standpoint, that's how advertising works. Repeat the message.
That's a long message to repeat, though. I think that works better on like jingles. 1-800-FAR, like
Cars for Kids.
I don't think it works better with a paragraph of text.
Right. So we appreciate it. I'm just suggesting it's just a creative note. That's all it is.
Search for AI.cooking. Yo.
Right.
Monthly donors. That's our boostergrams. Monthly donors. Charles Current, $5. Michael Goggin, $5. Sean McCune, $20. Christopher Reamer, $10. James Sullivan, $10. Stu Coates, $6.66. Dreb Scott, $15. Dreb, the machine. Michael Kimmerer, $5.33. Leslie Martin, $2. Jeff Miller, $20. Pedro Goncalves, $5. And Aaron Reno, $5. And that's our group.
Thank you.
Group.
Thank you very much, monthlies. Very critical to the mission.
Yes.
Very critical. That ongoing base is important. Yes, very important. Thank you. Thank you all. Value for value. At podcastindex.org, you can find a big red donate button at the bottom of the page. It'll take you to the PayPal for the Fiat Fun coupons. The boostergrams are working, yo. This is good. You keep that size up. I'm liking your size.
How many times I've heard that?
Yeah. And, I think I can figure out this Tallycoin QR code and I can just hand it off to you. I know you're strapped for time, for the next
I've got
couple
plenty
of
of time today as I'm flopping on the couch.
Well, you're not feeling well. All I want you to do is get under the covers, have some chicken soup, a little bit of scotch. You got any scotch?
I saw somebody on Twitter said the other day, I thought the cure for a cold was chicken soup and bed rest and not communism.
Now, have you seen the latest? Let's do some political stuff, Dave. This will be funny.
Sure.
Have you seen the latest trend on Twitter? CDC says.
Yes, I saw that. That's hilarious.
This is what's happened here is people are all of a sudden the scales are falling from their eyes.
Yeah,
a biblical reference, I believe. And
they are freaking out when the CDC dropped that thing from 10 days to 5 days. The Twitter collectively lost its mind.
CDC says Red Bull doesn't give you wings, so go ahead and jump off that bridge. It does give you wings, so go ahead and jump off that bridge. CDC says you can start at 69 bottles of beer on the wall.
That's funny.
CDC says go ahead, mess around with Jim.
The CDC recommends neither milk nor lemon should be added to Earl Grey tea.
CDC says just rub some dirt on it. I mean, this is so funny.
Brilliant.
This is what it's like to lose control of the narrative.
Oh yeah. It's out the wheels came off this narrative.
It's out of control. And I heard it. That was a 10-sat boost for no agenda from Dean Nealps.
Well, you know what you're going to have. You're going to have
filter
a screen. No. A panel, a screen in the bunker, in the podcast bunker.
Excuse me. Do you want me to send
Helipad?
Do you want me to send you a picture? Because
oh yeah, sure.
Remember, I'm not running it on an Umbral or a Pi. I'm running it on a Surface Pro 6.
Oh, so it's sitting there beside you.
Oh yeah. Oh no. When the boostergram. Okay. Well, so I have it loaded now on the machine here in front of me because I can just hit the IP address. So when it hits here, then it hits the soundboard. I have one over so I have a big monitor, like a huge crazy thing, and I got the Bitcoin chart. I've got my times, and I actually have the Fediverse open, which just is basically flashing porn. Anime porn all day. And then it's kind of cool. I love that because it refreshes automatically and when something new comes in. And sometimes you catch a news item. Like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. And then to the right of it's like my scrolling news ticker. And then to the right of that is the Surface Pro 6, and right front and center is Helipad. I'll make a picture.
Yeah. I want to see the command central.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. CDC says you can put pineapple on pizza. Ah, good. I'm glad that's finally settled.
Breaking news. CDC announces it's now acceptable to talk about Fight Club. Hey, I want to hear about the Tascam thing. They're going to put a new firmware out?
Oh, yeah. So I had a great call did I talk about the call I had with Tascam with Japan?
Yeah, you told me about that, but then you said they may be doing like firmware release and then maybe hardware.
Yeah, so So William got back to me and he said, Adam, great news. We had a firmware release and, there's a couple things in here I know you'll like, which is now you can put the effects on all microphones. Now, I had asked not for all microphones, but for all channels, so I'm not sure if it'll also be on the USB. And he says you can now also regulate gain on the USB channels, which was a big problem. Of course, it really needs to be processing. He said, but all of this is just stuff that was kind of semi-planned. He says, for this coming year, he said, I'm not quite sure what it'll be called, but it'll either be Mixcast 5 or Mixcast 4 Mark II or whatever. He says, we intend to fully implement everything you suggested.
Oh, that's so, they get it. They get it.
Well, it's old engineering guys, they get it. And what is so impressive about this company is that the head of product, this, I would say, millennial woman, who's super sharp, she trusts these guys. Now, she has an engineering background, so she knows what she's talking about, but she trusts their experience. One of them created, a couple of the old Boss stomp boxes. Oh, these guys go back. Yeah. They go back in music and technology. So, and she's very accepting of their input. And no chip on the shoulder there. Very impressive.
I like it.
Yeah,
that's encouraging. That's encouraging.
I'm pumped about it. Now, this is a long road, and it was kind of interesting because William said, "Hey," and then we can talk about. And I'm like, what I want to have the Podfather signature edition with platinum trim or some shit like that. And I'm like, okay. And he said, yeah, we can look at some cross-marketing opportunities. I'm like, oh, that's no money. All right, well. So much for that. It doesn't matter. We'll get the box. I just want the box. I really do.
So the box, and then you have to buy it with Lightning. You have to buy it with Bitcoin.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
So
the CDC now says that Whitney Houston does not want to dance with somebody. I could do this all day.
Believe me, the Curry household is doing it all morning. It's like, oh, look at this one. Tina be at the other side of the room. I'm just laughing my head. What is it? What does the CDC say? All right. Hey, this is the last show of the year, Dave. It's been a phenomenal year. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your partnership. Yeah. Thank you for your courage. And your time, talent, and treasure, because you're putting it in just equally, if not more than most.
Yeah, it's been a joy, man. It's been great doing this with you for going on 2 years now, and we're a year and a half, and we got. 2022. I feel like things are going to get even more interesting. Like, because my plan is, at least in January, is to start working on the Podcaster wallet and wiring it up to our Ellen Pay node and trying to get some stuff going where people can just onboard.
Yes, and also
that'll be fun.
Thank you to Eric Mackey, who's more silent than anything in the partnership, but he's keeping us honest, keeping us on track, and a lot of stuff that he's been thinking about and working on will come to bear with the wallet side.
Yeah,
particularly for reporting, statistics, extraction, et cetera, et cetera. So
occasionally I'll throw something into the Signal and into the Signal chat, and then I know if Eric does not come back and shoot it down immediately, they're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Woo! Okay, we made it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
it's true. All right, everybody. Thank you all members of the board as well, for a fantastic year, 2022. Who the heck knows? But it's going to be a fun ride. It always is. And we'll see you next week, the first one of the new year, Podcasting 2.0. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care.
You have been listening to Podcasting 2.0. Visit podcastindex.org for more information.
Go podcasting!
Podcasts are cool.
Boost.